everyone, this is Speaker Entertainment and we're back again, and here now we have another video for you, and this will be a review and first impressions given of the series of Gen V. The first 3 episodes of the show were released on Amazon Prime on Friday the 29th of September 2023. Now there could be spoilers throughout this review, so just be aware when going into this overall video. Now for anybody who doesn't know, Gen V is a spin-off series from the popular superhero series known as The Boys, which is successfully run now for 3 seasons, with season 4 on the way also. Now that show was based on a comic book created by Garth Ennis, which was a present day story where a group of superheroes known as the Seven are very much celebrities working for the Vought Corporation. Behind the celebrity image, the Seven are much more corrupt and self-indulgent, led by the most dangerous and notorious one of all in Homelander. A group of vigilantes known as the Boys continually battle against the Seven, looking to expose their corruption to the public. The Boys was very much a satirical commentary on superheroes, asking the question of what the world would be like if the heroes were indeed corrupt by nature. And the show gained a lot of positive reaction from both critics and audiences for its insightful alternative take on the superhero genre, very much more a deconstructive take. It gained popularity also for its very extreme tone in sex and graphic violence. So in terms of Gen V, where it takes place from the story and timeline, the story happens in between Season 3 and Season 4 of The Boys, where at the end of the 3rd season, we saw the defeat of Soldier Boy and a departure from the Seven from the likes of both Maeve and Starlight. Now in terms of Gen V, we started by focusing on a younger, newer generation of superheroes with abilities. The difference here being is that these were teenagers who were injected with the compound V substance by their parents, as opposed to the Seven who were experimented on by the Vought Corporation. And we see these young teenagers being trained within the College of Vought Industries, coming to terms with their abilities and hopefully mastering them enough to one day become members of the Seven. It's very much the Boys, if you like, of the future generation. Now over the course of the story, we're introduced to a multitude of characters, all with their own personal dilemmas, and we cover that familiar territory of social angst, identity crisis, and dealing with past experiences. Now throughout the first 3 episodes, the primary lead character so far is Marie Moreau, whose manifestations of powers is seen during a truly gruesome opening flashback, which results in her exploding her parents right in front of her sister. We then jump forward to the present day as Marie joins the Vought University and meets further friends. And in the beginning, life seems all good as she aspires to one day join the superhero team of the Seven. We also see her roommate, Emma Meyer, who has the ability to shrink in size and uses that ability to very much broadcast her content online. We also have Maddie, who has the ability to control people with her mind whenever she touches them. Jordan Lee constantly changes gender, possessing abilities when he switches both sides. And we also have Andre, who is able to bend metal shapes. Now the events of the story turn with the character of Luke, who is also known as Golden Boy. Now this is a superhero who seemingly has the perfect life, as his father, who is the professor of the university, has him primed to indeed join the Seven. But Luke harbours troubling memories of his brother Sam, who is being experimented within the underground facilities of the Vought. Continually traumatised, Luke proceeds to kill his father before attacking Marie, who witnesses this, and then going on to kill himself when he realises the experience is all too much for him to take. Now following this event, the group starts to discover that not everything is as it seems, and more secrets about their origins continue to be revealed. Now after these first 3 episodes, I have to say that I was very surprised at how good this series actually is so far. Initially I was very sceptical about it when it was first announced, as I felt The Boys didn't really warrant any spin-off series. It works completely fine as a standalone story. And I really wasn't sure that a younger version or a younger group of teenager characters could ever be quite as compelling as the same adult characters as what we saw within the likes of Billy Butcher and Homelander and Maeve. Now whilst it may be unfair to fully compare it to The Boys after only 3 episodes, I do think at this stage Gen V has a good mix of story, action and mystery that keeps you compelled to watch after each episode, very much in the same way that The Boys did. Now despite the huge multitude of characters introduced, we do get a good amount of time to understand their own situation, and I do think that they do have genuinely interesting backstories. And there is a certain empathy when you realise that most of these characters have either been mistreated or manipulated by their parents. We see in particular how Jordan Lee is looked down upon about his father because of his gender swapping abilities, and also even more interestingly, we see Andre continually under the pressure of being the poster boy superhero being put under continuous pressure by his father and becoming even more disillusioned when he realises that his father perhaps knows much more about what's going on within Vought International. And I do think at this stage all of the characters are mostly very likeable, with right now both Marie and Emma probably making the strongest impressions so far. And the story has the same poise and pacing as what we've seen, particularly from Season 2 and Season 3 of The Boys. We get that whole mix of conspiracy, media manipulation and propaganda, satirical commentary, but it doesn't simply copy what The Boys was. Again, by having a huge mix of different characters, I think there's enough here for Gen V to have its own particular identity that we can indeed consider it a separate part of The Boys, even though it takes place in the same timeline. And of course, we do get the succession of explicit violence and sex and graphic scenes, but of course we already knew that going into this overall show. Now we do get characters from The Boys making certain cameos, such as Ashley, Deep, and also A-Train, who makes an appearance at the beginning part where we see the flashback of Marie's story. Nothing really substantial, but enough to establish where this show is taking place in terms of the overall timeline. Now I do feel that this show would be far better in keeping these cameos from The Boys to a minimum, in order for it not to be overshadowed by what's going on with The Boys. It's probably a good idea as well to have the shows appearing one after another rather than having them screened both at the same time, as this could possibly cause confusion with viewers, especially because the stories are taking place at the same timeline. So at this stage it would probably work better for Gen V to keep its main stories very small scale, so that they don't really affect what's going on in The Boys, as that story has been far more progressed so far than what we've seen with Gen V, which of course is still in its very much infancy. Now it's too early at this stage to say whether Gen V will become as good as The Boys, but the potential is definitely there for it to be a good successor when The Boys does eventually end, which I really feel it should do. But so far, after 3 episodes, I think there's definitely enough here for Gen V to certainly keep the appetite consistent for many fans of The Boys, while so far I do think there's a strong enough individual story for Gen V to stand alone from the series of The Boys and very much become its own hopefully very good series. So that's my overall thoughts and feelings on the first 3 episodes of Gen V. Let me know what you think in the comments below. You can also check out my channel for my other coverage of The Boys, and I will leave some links within the description. And if you have any other topics of movies or television shows within the pop entertainment and culture scene that you'd like to see me cover, then also let me know within the comments and I will see if I can provide further commentary for you on that subject matter within the future. Please also hit and like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you very, very soon.